Good morning, good evening, and good night, everybody. My name is Sarah, and today we're talking about my TBR. Now, once again, I am so-so on sticking to my to-be-read books. I've been trying, though. It helps that I've limited my options to, one shelf and my library. So, at least there, I have a limited amount of space I can stray to. So we're working on it. Now, I'm filming this, and I'm pretty sure uploading this before March is over, so any books I don't have a chance to read during this month are definitely going to be pushed into April TBR, and I'm pretty sure I have a good idea on which books those are going to be, because I'm in the middle of a big one, and I'm not finishing that anytime soon. So, we're going to talk about the stuff I probably need to read still, first, and then we're going to move on to all my hopefully, potentially, maybe in the future books. So the first book I need to read in the month of April is Treasure Island. This is a classic pirate story about an island full of treasure and the mayhem that kind of results in people trying to go find it. Again, classic. I'm a little hesitant to look up any information on it because there's gonna be spoilers because people are like, oh, you've read this already. You should know this. I don't. I haven't. So I'm gonna hopefully read this now. Again, I've seen the movie on it. I remember none of it. I really like the idea of pirate stories. I haven't read a good one yet, so this is my general statement of I need to read this soon, hopefully either in March or April. I'm hoping I like it. The other book that I promised to read in March, and I'm probably going to have to push back to April, is Wondersmith. This is book 2 in the Trials of Morgan Crow series. I really like book 1. I really like book 1. It's just kind of a longer book for a middle grade. I think it's over 600 pages, which is really long, especially for a middle grade, which is normally under 300. You're doubling the length here. And I know the series is going to be 9 books in total. Insane. I haven't read book 2 yet. That is what this TBR is. I really want to read this. It's just, I'm putting it off. I almost kind of want to wait until October to read this, but that's so far away, and I know, the next book is already going to be out by then. So, I want to get to this now. I want to get to it soon. I was supposed to do it in March, but instead it's going to be in April. Yeah! The first book in the series is called Nevermore. It's basically about the story of Morgan Crow, who has the worst luck. She is cursed to have all bad things happen around her be a result of her curse. She is doomed to die before her 11th birthday, but at the last minute of the last hour, she is wished away to a magical city where she has to prove herself to enter into the Wondrous Society. Again, sounds really cool, sounds really amazing, and I really want to read book 2 because I really liked book 1. So the next book I really want to get to in the month of April is Green Glass House. I've been talking about this book quite a lot recently. That's just because it sounds so interesting. It is about an inn that's set in the mountains and cool magical stuff starts happening, but things are going missing and our main character has to deal with all this chaotic stuff going on. This is a middle grade book. I love middle grade stories, and I'm just hoping this has the wonder and magic that I'm looking for in it, while also that kind of cozy setting. I know it's spring now. Spring has come, and this is definitely a winter book, but I still really want it because it looks really cool, and I'm excited. Speaking of books that are definitely not meant to be read in spring, the next one I want to pick up is Tunnel of Bones. This is book 2 in City of Ghosts, which is a really cool story about a girl who grew up in a ghost hunting family. She can see ghosts, but no one else knows this, and her family is kind of going on a tour of the most haunted cities in the world, and she kind of tags along and meets some ghost friends and learns more about her ability. It's really cool. It's really, really cool. This one, I think is set in the catacombs, of Paris, so super excited for that. I love ghost stories. Again, it's definitely not meant to be read in happy spring Easter time, but I was looking at my library TBR and I'm like, this is calling to me. I really want to read it. Really, I hope I pick it up in April. I actually really do. Things get put off. I want this one to be soon though. The next book to talk about is from the Discworld series, and that is the We Free Men. So if you don't know, the Discworld is a huge satire fantasy series made up of a bunch of mini-series. You can start basically wherever you want, and I've been slowly shaping my way through the first books in a lot of these. And the We Free Men is another great entry point. I know next to nothing about it other than it's part of the Discworld fantasy satire series, and it sounds really good, and it has a really good rating on Goodreads, which I've kind of learned not to trust, but it's fine, it looks fun, it's a small, easy read, and I just love Terry Pratchett's writing style, so yeah. I pulled up the synopsis of this just to make sure I was getting it right, and you know what I was? Armed with only a frying pan and her common sense, a young witch-to-be must defend her home from the monsters of fairyland, which it sounds right up my alley. And again, I need at least one spring-ish book here, and that sounds really cool. And I'm always up for heroines armed with cooking utensils because they are surprisingly deadly. And finally, the last book I hope to pick up in the month of April is The Hobbit, The Wardrobe, and the Great War. So I've been kind of slowly working my way through my nonfiction books, and this is one that really caught my eye. It is basically the story of how did the First World War, the Great War, end up kind of inspiring these huge pieces of fantasy fiction that our culture has come to love. It is just basically analysis and understanding the history of what led to both The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, and also Narnia. They're really cool and really awesome, and I want to understand it a little bit more. I'm really hit or miss when it comes to nonfiction. I usually stay away from it just because of how sometimes I'm really enjoying it and other times I'm just give up. It's not for you kind of idea. I'm hoping this one falls into I'm really enjoying it, but I've read analysis of books and history before, and they don't normally end up too well. It's a hope. It's a hope though, so let's go with that. So those are all the books I plan to read in the month of April. Obviously, there's going to be some stuff added and some stuff thrown out. That's just the way reading is. Thank you guys all so much for watching. If you like this video and have any books to recommend to me or have any conversations on the ones I've talked about, please leave that down in the comment section down below. While you're down there, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. As always, good night, good evening, and good morning, everybody.